giveaway keeper. You think that you know you're just so scared to lose. That'd be me. You stay. When me and Doug first met, me and him, we both like talked with our hearts. It's the part in the Dark Crystal movie where Jen and Kira meet and they introduced a fizz gig and they ended up dream fasting together. I had a vision when Doug passed away. It was like he was with me. He was in a coma first for 8 days. And I had the vision of where my Aunt Connie had a jelly bean jar. Well, it was my cousin Walt's jelly bean jar for the customers to count how many jelly beans were in the jar. And my mom went to help my Aunt Connie help with the barn sale. And then came down the walk. It was a really pretty day like today. From Scott Atkins' house, one of their best friends. Doug was in the middle, and then it was Bill on the left and Scott on the right side. And I looked at Scott and I said, you know, what's wrong with your arms? He had like little spots on his arms. And he said it was the pigment in his skin didn't let him tan there. And I'll never forget that because my skin started doing that later on when I went to a tanning bed. I started getting white spots on my chest. But that's another story. Me and Doug, it was almost like we were walking by ourselves, but we weren't. And it was like we were dream fasted, like the movie. I had a vision, I think, from him when he was in a coma or something. I don't know what happened. I heard spirits can be anywhere in 2 places at once or something like that. But we both felt like we didn't belong here. Like we were the only ones. And our lives before we met were not good. Like everything was negative. And then he went in the barn with my cousin and Scott. And we started talking. He kept asking me out. And I said no because I was shy. I was like 12 or something. And that would be the Fleetwood Mac song, Edge of 17. He was about 15 maybe. He's 3 years older than I was. He was born October 4th. It was 10/4/66. So he was a few years older than me. I didn't know the Fleetwood Mac stuff yet. I mean, I listened to them, but I didn't put it with my life yet because I didn't know what was going on yet. But I had to study this to find out they were singing songs about the Divine Association because they knew something and they ended up flooding the music industry. So you have to listen to all of my things that I've been putting every day while I drive. I drive a lot for my work, so I'm doing this while I drive because if I think of something, I'm just gonna put it there because I do it better when I'm by myself. But he in the bar, Doug kept asking me out, and I already been hurt, and I thought that I was gonna get in trouble by my stepdad if I started dating Doug. So I told him no, and I wish I could go back. I can't go back. That was one of Doug's songs that he emailed to me, is that if he could turn back time, we could change everything. I was too afraid to date him. I thought I was going to I can't tell you what I thought was going to happen to me. I thought I was going to get beat up by my stepdad and get in trouble. And I was too young, and so he went outside the barn. Plus my cousins were standing there, so I couldn't really talk in front of my cousins. So I really did like Doug a lot. But he came out of the barn and he said, "You're not going to date me even if I'm the last man on earth?" And I said, no. He was joking around. He was funny. He was very funny. He goes, "So even if I was the first man on earth, you wouldn't date me?" And I said, no. But then when I was about, it was about Christmas time, I ended up getting the ABBA album. They don't have hardly any of those around anymore. And I got the Grease album. That's what I wanted. My cousin got the ABBA album too, so I'll never forget that Christmas. And so I took the album home, and I kept dancing to it, and I kept thinking about that boy that I met that day, but I didn't know where he went. I didn't know where he lived. I didn't have his number. And so he kind of like stayed on my heart for a very long time until I got in high school. And he graduated in 85 and I was a freshman. And we didn't get to see each other until the last quarter of that high school year in 85. And we both were in art class together. And I did talk to him and I told him that I cared about him a lot. And when I went up and I asked him what his favorite music was, and he said REO Speedwagon. So now every time I hear Keep On Loving You, I think about him because he's passed away now. And I asked him if he had a girlfriend, and he said yes, and I thought she was probably the most beautiful girl in school. I thought it was Lisa Owens, who died on, actually she really did die in 85 on Castle Road. So I know there's somebody messing with our lives for her to die on Castle Road, because I think that's his twin. I don't know, but I think it's his twin. And it was not Lisa Owens that he was dating. It was Denise. That his parents had put them together. I found out before, or right after he passed away. So I'm going to get all this out of my system because I'm being hurt really bad by these evil people, and I think they're trying to kill me, and I think they did commit a lot of murders. I really do, and they look like accidents. So I want to get this out to let people know what these people are doing. They're doing it right now today. I can't tell you what they're doing today, but I'll tell you someday. I'm on my job. So I'm going to close this. I hope that people go through all my documentaries and they study my songs and that I put in, that I talk about, because it matches with my life. Like, I feel like I am being watched by Illuminati or somebody, because my life is playing out the music, and they're putting twins in the movie, so you need to listen to this.